Hello today. Welcome to the Lowdown Truth. Blessings in Jesus. Well, it is November 3rd, 2023. And I wanted to talk about an important topic. It's very relevant to current events. It is that the papacy is the Antichrist. The biblical man of sin, Antichrist. The man in the office of the Pope, the papacy, the lineage of one man sitting in that office, that is the Antichrist. And I know that there was times when there was a couple popes fighting for the throne, but it is an office for one person, one man, and that man is the biblical Antichrist. And the Roman Catholic Church is Mystery Babylon, the mother harlot that rides the beast. The beast being the Roman system, the Roman Empire that is still alive today and includes America. America is actually, I believe, the second beast talked about in Revelation. But where this comes from, it's not just speculation. It's building upon our forefathers, the Protestants, and all those Christians throughout the last 2,000 years, but especially since the Roman Catholic Church was created, and then the Bishop of Rome became the man of sin, the Antichrist, in 538 AD. And he ruled for 1,260 years until 1798, when the French Revolution took him out. And since then, he has come back. The deadly wound has been healed, and now he sits as a queen, and the whole world wonders after the beast, saying, who can make war against the beast? Have you ever wondered why the Pope, the current Pope right now, Francis Bergoglio, that he's in the news like every day, and what he says matters? Why would it matter what he says if he was just some benign, ancient religious head? I mean, we don't care what the Orthodox head says, or the Buddhist, but the Pope, he's where all the leaders and all the kings of the world go and worship. They go bow down to the Pope. They have audience with him. All the kings of the earth, the merchants, everybody that is on the stage, the world stage, goes and sees the Pope. And there's a reason for that. That's because he's the Antichrist. He's the leader of the world, this world system. The Rothschilds are his bankers. And this comes from historicism. It's an end times prophetic understanding of Daniel's 70 weeks, that it was fulfilled, And that is opposed to a system called Futurism, which is says that there's going to be a future Antichrist. It's going to be Jewish. He's going to be a politician. That he's going to reign for 7 years. And they get that 7 years from the last week of Daniel's 70-week prophecy, which they said hasn't been fulfilled yet. And they say, the futurists say that the last 2,000, since Jesus died, the last 2,000 years, there hasn't been any prophecy that's been fulfilled, which is just ludicrous. The last 2,000 years has been the unraveling or the fulfillment of the book of Revelation. With the language of the prophets, you can understand this, and that is what you learn when you start learning the historicism and the faith that our forefathers have built before us, like Bishop Eliot and all the Protestants, every single one of them. None of them were futurist. Futurism came in only in the last 150 years to America, which is the largest Protestant stronghold in the world, and it was created in the 1500s as a counter-Reformation tactic by a Jesuit. Futurism was created by the Vatican, by the Jesuits. The Jesuits were created solely to destroy the Protestant faith, to subvert it. And because the printing press and the God's divine workings, the Protestant Reformation spread all across Europe to England and all the way to America. And the Pope was deposed, like I said, in 1798, and ever since then we've been in this secular paradigm where the universities are being used and our governments are being subverted by this force of the Antichrist and all his secret societies. And I wanted to tie this in with the Jewish question, because it's a question that the truthers always have. It's like, well, who's in charge? Is it the Jews that say they're Jews but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan, the Khazarians, Ashkenazis, or is it the Jesuits and the Catholics? And that's a good question, of course. And it's what I've come to is that they're the same power. It's pretty much the same power. Ignatius Loyola, the founder of the the founder of the Jesuits, he was a Jew. He was a Marrano Jew. He was a Spanish. He came from Spain, and his family was Jewish, but he converted to Catholicism, which they called Marrano Jews, or so. It's not a far-fetched to say that the Antichrist, the Papacy, has also been one of these Jews that are not Jews, but they say they're Jews but are not. They actually are part of this Khazarian tribe, or Edomites, or even Nephilim. You could go as far as to say that special bloodline is perhaps in them. I don't know, but the idea that it has to be one or the other, doesn't have to be that idea. Now, does that mean that we don't support the innocent, the people that are over there? And now this war that's started, this is the perfect this was created by, this was allowed to happen, kind of like a Pearl Harbor event, to give them a reason to do what they're doing. But the atrocities are real. The hatred is real on both sides, the Palestinians and the Zionists. Both of them hate the other one. The question is, like, why would they put Israel where it is right now? Why would they do that? In 1948, why would the world governments decide that that's where we're going to put this people that that we know have caused so many problems in Europe and Russia all through the 1800s? The Bolsheviks, this group of people, we're going to put them in this country where, right in the middle of all these people that hate them, and that they hate each other. So obviously they were putting Israel where it is to create the next war, and that is what they're going to use to solidify their New World Order. And this is evidenced by Albert Pike in his letter to Giuseppe Mazzini in the 1800s, that talked about the World War I, II, and III. And what he talked about for World War I and II have already come to pass, and then III is going to come to pass, according to them. Now, the problem with the so-called Protestant church in America is we believe in Futurism instead of the true Protestant interpretation of historicism. And we have become ecumenical and joined forces with the Catholics, and in order to fight off the Muslims and the atheists and the immoral, godless people in America that they've created. Now, we also, part of Futurism and part of dispensationalism is that we believe that the chosen people are over there in Israel. We believe that these are the chosen people of God, and they call them Jews. And Jews is a form of the name Judah, the tribe of Judah. But you have to remember that it says in the Bible that they say they're Jews but are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So, if you look through history, there was, first of all, the people that were taken, the tribe, or the nation of Judah, as separate from Israel, the northern tribes, they were taken captive to Babylon around 500 BC, and they were kept there for 70 years, and then they were allowed to come back by Artaxerxes, King Artaxerxes of the Persians, that took over Babylon. And that was the beginning of Daniel's 70 weeks prophecy. But they were allowed to come back, and only a fraction of those that were taken came back. So, who was there when they came back? Well, it was the people that were there when they came back were not, Israelites. They were not. They were Edomites and these leftover tribes of all those Hittites and the Amorites and the Amalekites and all the ites that were around Israel, and they were the Moabites, and they were the ones that were there. They were a mixed group of people. So, and then you look 500 years later, and that's when Jesus came. So, really, the people that were there when Jesus came, there wasn't very many. They were just Israelites. There was a lot of people that said they were Jews, but were not. They were not from Jacob. And so then you look through, further down, like to 800 AD, and the Khazarian tribe country became Jew themselves. They converted to Judaism, which is basically the Babylonian Talmud. They believe in the Babylonian Talmud, which is nothing to do with the Torah. I mean, this is a totally separate religion. It's a Luciferian religion. It's a divine serpent worship. Kabbalah. But it comes from Babylon, and then Babylon, it comes from the fallen angels, and it's basically Nimrod, and then the fallen angels before the flood, and that is what you call Mystery Babylon. But Catholicism, when it was created in the 4th century, it adopted all of these Mystery Babylon religions, and it became, this false church that says it was Christian, but it's actually not. It's just it's basically the Babylonian Talmud, mixed in with paganism and Christianity. So it's not a far stretch to say that these are the same people. The popes, the Antichrist, the Papacy, the Jews, the people that say they're Jews and are not, that are part of the synagogue of Satan, that they're actually basically the same people. So does that mean that we support the Muslims and not Israel? No, we don't. The Muslims are a creation of the Catholic Church. They were created around 500 AD to kill the Bible-believing Christians, and to be used. They always need a boogeyman. They always need somebody so they can cause a problem, so they can come up with a solution. It gives them the control. So that's what the Muslims were, and that's what they are. And they are also satanic with their Quran and what they believe. So, this is something that is concocted. It's not something that is prophecy. It's not something that is... But what they're going to do is they're going to actually play out the Futurism prophecy in the Middle East. I don't know exactly when they're going to do that, but right now they're starting the process. And if you listen to some of my other podcasts, you'll have more of an understanding of how I believe it's going to play out with a right-wing backlash in America and Europe, and then we become have this false religious revival that the Catholics are in charge of. And then we become supporters of, we are supporters of this Israel, of this tribe of Khazarians, of these people over there that hate Jesus. And both of them, the Muslims and the Khazarians, they both hate Jesus. They both reject him. Obviously, there's some people over there that are Christians, and those are our brothers and sisters. But on the whole, those are just AntiChrist countries. Much like we are becoming ourselves. I mean, the Antichrist controls the whole world through the money system, through the central bankers. That's how he's gained control of the world, and we're all being used to create this one world order. I believe the false Futurism doctrine is that great delusion spoken of in the Bible, because 99% of Protestant Christians have forgotten what we believed, and we believe in this false Jesuit Futurism. So I just wanted to come on and explain this, that the Papacy is the Antichrist and historicism is the true end-time prophetic understanding. Maybe this will help in this time of confusion, before we get swept away in the concocted lies that are about to be developed by those who rule the world, i.e. the Antichrist and his secret societies. God bless, and I'll talk to you later. Blessings in Jesus.